for launch. And with that, shut down your visors, O2 on, and prepare for ignition, 202. EPP, copy that, and initiating a full 10-4-4.
Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength, not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory, we give you peace, we give you honor, we give you blessing, we give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you, the fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name, ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty, it's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes, You, O Cubed. What does O Cubed stand for? One-on-one, because it's just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined me on this Fresh Start Friday. On today, it is Friday, May the 6th, in the year 2022, and I don't know about you, but I'm just happy to be here. Now, you know, this is Mother's Day weekend. And so this is going to be my last stream of the week until, let's see, Monday. We'll be back in here at 8 o'clock Central Time with the Millennials for Reboot. But I hope that every mother here has a great Mother's Day. Every woman here has a great Mother's Day. Everyone, I hope that this weekend will be powerful. So that means there will not be, and I'll try to remember to do this again at the end of the segment, but there will not be a good grief on today. Those ladies have, even in the holidays, they have been in place and functioning. We're going to give them the day off today for Mother's Day. Both Crazy Berry Town and Kim Possible 7-Eleven, who always do a phenomenal job Fridays at noon with Good Grief. Good Grief will not, this is the first time that we will not be here since we started, I think. Good Grief will not be here on today at 12 noon. And then the Institute will not be held tomorrow. Let me say that again. The Institute will not be held tomorrow. And then we will not have Waken the Lions at 2 o'clock on Sunday, nor will we have Yes You with Friends on Sunday night. All right. So just make mental note of all of those different changes for the weekend. Again, I will not be back until Monday with our millennials, Monday night at 8 o'clock p.m. That being said, I want y'all to come on in here and support them because they're doing a beautiful job. They are doing an absolutely beautiful job. And so we will be back with them on Monday night at I thought I changed that Lord Jesus, that's the wrong flyer, y'all. That's the wrong flyer. I know I got the right flyer in here somewhere, so I'm gonna have to change that joker out. But 8 o'clock p.m. 8 o'clock p.m. Is when we will be back in the Lion's Den. So I'll try to remember to do that again at the end of the day. But for the time being, I just wanted to start off with that announcement for anybody that will not be here at the end of the stream. We're going to go and raid, as we often do. We're going to go over and raid the Rebel Inc. this Friday, 9 o'clock a.m. for her Church of Funk. If y'all want to have some good music and a good time, please, please, please stay here and ride the raid train over. Now, let's go ahead and get started. You know how we normally do. I just wanted to get those announcements out and off my chest, because you know I'll be done went a whole lot of places and forgot to tell you some very pertinent information. So I wanted to definitely get that in on this morning so that you know, again, this will be the last stream of the day. And then we'll be back. We will not be back until Monday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Okay. Now, invariably, even after having said that, I know I'm still going to get texts and people are going to be like, are you coming on? And, you know, where you at? And, you know, all of that. But that's okay. But I just want to make sure get the announcement out. Now, you know how we start with Grandpa Holmes's chair and all of the beautiful people that come in, bringing love, joy, peace, soul, and happiness into the Lion's Den and having it prepared for us. I tell you what, I just love Grandpa Holmes's chair. Now, the third person in the den today, the third person that got her lips, hips, and fingertips into the VIP section this morning was none other than Miss Fabulous. Miss Fabulous, you did that. Thank you for coming in, sis. I appreciate you. I just want you to know I do. Yes, I really do. Now, the second person to get in the Lion's Den this morning, to get a seat on that love seat. Yes, she's going to get a space to put her lips, hips, and fingertips on that love seat is none other than Shelly Thunder. Yes, Shelly Thunder, you did that, girl. She got her lips, her hips, and her fingertips on that chair this morning. So go ahead over there to the love seat and go ahead and sit down. I'm so glad you made it in. Y'all had a close run going this morning. But the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair is none other than BTD Mom, otherwise known as Anita Harvey. Anita Harvey, BTD Mom. Go ahead, put your lips, your hips, and your fingertips on that chair. You are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. Come on in here, sis. You did that. You did that. You did that. Yes, you did.
congratulations to the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. I appreciate you. Now, I just want to say, we have Grandpa Holmes's chair has some perks that come along with it. And so, what I envision that we will be doing soon and very soon, for those of you that are the winners of Grandpa Holmes's chair, we'll be giving some merchandise complimentary from the Lion's Den. We got some awesome, listen, I got my cup right here with me this morning. Yes, Boss Energy. It's all about the Boss Energy. Yes, it is. So we got some merchandise. We have tees, we have hoodies, we have, as a matter of fact, we got some Boss Energy masks for those of you that are going to be like me and you're going to be wearing a mask from now until. We've got a Boss Energy mask for you and other merchandise that's out there. So I want to appreciate those winners that come in every morning and bring that love, joy, peace, and happiness, and we will be getting stuff to you. MCP 812 is still waiting on her 2 mugs. I owe her 2 mugs, and they're coming. They're coming. And I just might do that this weekend. Go ahead and package those jokers up and put them in the mail, since I'm going to give myself just a little bit of a break. You need an ottoman. You need an ottoman this morning, and Grandpa got it for you. Come on. Grandpa Holmes he's a perfect gentleman. So listen, I appreciate until Tall Pumps came and got on his lap that weekend. I don't know what happened to Grandpa Holmes, but every other way, Grandpa Holmes is a gentleman. Tall Pumps has a way of changing the atmosphere just by being here too. Nonetheless, there you go. Now you know where we're going from here. You always know where we're going from here. We want to give some mod love out to these awesome moderators. We started off with Shelly Thunder, who comes in bright and early. Yes, she does. Up above my Tall Pumps. I was just waiting. I was just looking. I knew you were going to say something. Tall Pumps, I tell you what, you are just too much. Now let me get back to see, you done got me off, but I knew you were coming in. Honey, you are as faithful as the day is long. I knew you were gonna respond to that. Let's get back to this mod love, because you done throwed me off like fresh throwed rolls at what's the name of that restaurant where Lambert's? Yeah, they got fresh throwed rolls if you ever go down to Branson. Listen, our moderators here on today, Shelly Thunder. Yes, that's my prophetess, and she brings it up in here and takes such good care of us here in the Lion's Den. Then we got the Rebel Inc. Yes, that's my day one, my Ace Boon Coon and my friend forever. She's the excellent moderator in here, you all. We will be going to her today at 9 o'clock. When we get up out of here, we're going straight to Church of Funk. So get your shouting shoes on, because we're going to do a little shouting up in here. And then, of course, the third part of the Blessed Trinity is none other than Michelle Browno. Yes, that's my quiet storm. I appreciate her and all that she does in the Lion's Den. She is so... Eileen Sideways is here. Y'all that started reporting for duty. Vintage Sugar is here. All of my pole girls and pole ladies are here. Lord Jesus, y'all. Listen, y'all just let Tall Pumps lead you in the paths of sin regularly, but that's okay. That's the way we do it in here. Listen, as the Rebel Inc. says, we are righteous and ratchet. Yes, Eileen Sideways, SK, she took me out with that. Eileen Sideways. Well, listen, since we're talking about the poll, I might as well go on and put it up there, because y'all already own it. You're already on the poll on this Fresh Start Friday. That's the way y'all work it in here. Work your jelly. I see you, Tall Pumps. I see you. You had the poll called. Listen. She had the talc powder ready for her legs, her thighs, and her hands so she could swing nicely. Yes, the Johnson & Johnson talc powder was already ready so she could make sure she got a good swing on that pole. Now let's get this party crack-a-lackin'. Let's get this party started, because you know how we do it in here. I got to come and I got to say good morning to everybody. This is our meet and greet, y'all. This is our meet and greet where I just like to come around and tell everybody that's in the Lion's Den in my chat good morning. And to those of you that are not in my chat, but you're here, good morning to you as well. I appreciate you for holding space in love here in the Lion's Den. Sending up prayers and traveling mercies for Crazy Berrytown as she and Captain Boots are traveling this weekend. She more than likely will not be in the space this morning, but you know, that's my girl. That's my beautiful girl. We definitely want to send up love and prayers for her. You know what I'm saying? We want to pray for safe travels, that they make it to their destination safely and that they have a marvelous time while they are there. All right, now let's get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out, because I want to come around and speak to everybody. Yes, my mama said you come in the room, you speak to somebody. Stacy 546, I see you. SK 8843, I see you. Tall Pumps is pumping tall, and I see you. BTD Mom, I know that poor baby takes her head off every time and just keeps right on swinging. I see you. The Rebel Inc., I see you. Come on in here. I see you. Eileen Sideways, Stacy 546, MCP 812, I see you, and so many hugs and love coming to you. Come on in here. I appreciate you. I'm coming on up and I'm seeing who else is in the room. Who's in the room? Go Ratty. I want to stop right here and tell you, not only do I see you, but I appreciate you. I applaud you. Kudos. I'm so glad, and thank you for sharing your journey of therapy with us, and thank you for doing your self-care and due diligence to be the best person that you could be. Thank you, my brother. I want you to know I appreciate you for even being loving and transparent enough to share your journey here in the Lion's Den. So much mad love coming to you on this morning, and welcome back day 2. Coming on up, and I'm looking and I'm booking, and who else do I see? I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm checking out, and I see Joanna G98. That's my girl. So much love coming to you. Blessed morning to you, my dear. Blessed morning to you. I'm coming on up, and who else do I see in the room than Miss So Beautiful 11? Thank you for coming in the Lion's Den this morning. So much mad love coming to you. Kai Chick is the evangelist. That's my evangelist. She's in the room this morning. Happy Friday right back to you, sis. So much love to you. You know I love you, baby. Now coming on up, and I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm checking it out, because I don't want to miss anybody that's in my Lion's Den chat this morning, because you all are so beautiful to me. I appreciate you for coming in. Little Kim 920, I see you, and good morning. So much mad love coming to you as well. Teresa Jones is my 411 Connect, and she was my first one in the room this morning in the chat, and she doesn't drink coffee, but get your teacup out. I see your tea. Get your teacup out, because we ready to go. Yes, that's why she's my 411. She's always bringing me the tea. She's always bringing me the tea, and I appreciate you for that. Now let me go on down in the basement and see if anybody else came in while I was talking. Michelle Browno, that's my quiet storm. Good morning to you. Yes, and I'm so glad that you're here. I appreciate you for being in the midst. And listen, at the end of the day, you are a perfect segue to get this started, because I just want to give some recognition this morning. Yes, I do. So listen, y'all see, she's our moderator extraordinaire. I love her. I call her my quiet storm. Yes, I call her my quiet storm. I want to start with this on today. And I just want to talk and share something that is beautiful in her life. She has some beautiful children, and she's raising some queens up in here. Yes, she's raising queens up in here. Well, listen, this is what I want to talk about right now. And let me get the information up here, because I want to give it due justice, because I'm so proud of this baby, and I'm so proud of what this baby is doing. Let me come down, so I don't want to miss, and I don't want to misinform you as to the honor that this child has been given. Now, this you see, here's the mama. I want y'all to see that beautiful mother. Yes, that's my quiet storm, and one of the moderators here in the Lion's Den. Well, check this out, y'all. On last night, this is her beautiful daughter, Jalen Brown. Now, I want y'all to start giving it up for Jalen. I want y'all to start giving it up for Jalen, because listen, Jalen is the runner-up in 3 categories at her school for her writing abilities, y'all. Her journalism, her writing. She is the runner up in 3 categories: in the category of school events, in the category of sports, and in the category of student life articles for the 21-22 yearbook, y'all. Come on here. Come on, Jalen. She's a young lion. Come on, Jalen. Do your thing. Come on, Jalen. Jalen Brown, y'all. Jalen Brown, the daughter of our own Michelle Browno, is doing it, y'all. She's doing it. She's doing it. She's doing it. Come through, come through, come through. Oh, I knew you would like that, Stacy 546, because Stacy 546 is an author. She is a real author, not a wannabe author. She is a real author. Now, her yearbook team also won 3rd place at the National Yearbook Competition. Now, hear this. Her yearbook team won 3rd place at the National Yearbook Convention that was held in California, in LA, back in April. They won 1st place for the best yearbook nationally presented by Walden Publications. Their yearbook will be used as the example for schools in how a yearbook should look. Come on through. Jalen Brown. I'm talking about Jalen Brown. There she is, y'all. That's our young lion right here in the midst, right here amongst us. There's greatness in you, Jalen. There's greatness in you. Woo, I love it. I love it. I love it. Now, I love the idea that they are going to use the yearbook as a model for other schools to use. That's impressive, Stacy. That's impressive. And I just wanted to stop and give her the love that she's due, because listen, that's the way we do it in the Lion's Den. Bring these babies on. Bring these babies on. And that's the way I like it. Now, I got to stop and say once more and again, that's because this mother is raising queens. This mother is raising queens. And so we want to give you your shine too on this Mother's Day weekend. We've got to give you your shine as a phenomenal mother that's doing something and giving it up and showing your babies how to do it right. So I got to give you your flowers. I got to give you your flowers.
Good morning, Lion Spirit. 165 Lion Spirit.
Kim
165
Possible.
STL
7-Eleven is in the room. Come on in here, sis. Come on in here.
Coffee Cup
And
Spirit.
thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that.
165
Now,
STL no cream sugar.
did y'all get all of that? Yes. Did y'all get all of that? Kim Possible, that's the pastor from the ATL, is in the room. You came in while I was giving flowers to my sister. Yes, I'm giving you all these flowers. So no, it ain't your computer. My alerts. I need to turn some of my alerts back off, but that's okay. That's okay, Tall Pimps. It ain't your computer. It's my side piece. It's my side piece out here going crazy. So at the end of the day, give Kim, I'm sorry, not Kim. Kim, we give you flowers too. But this is Michelle Browno's moment right here. Give her your flowers. Give her flowers while she can smell them and get them. You said all of that, Kim Possible. Those emotes. All of those emotes were talking. So I had to give my baby her flowers, and we appreciate all that you're doing. Keep up the good work, Michelle. I can only imagine. I'm sure it's a struggle at time, but you just keep on doing what you're doing because we see the fruits of your labor. And kudos and congratulations to you and your daughter. I wanted to start with that on this morning. So much love coming to you. Now, let's get this party crack-a-lackin'. Let's get this party started. Well, it's really already started because, listen, the recognition that we're sharing and giving is much deserved and much due. So, ain't no shame in my game. Any chance we get to really applaud and to shine a spotlight on people that are really doing something in the Lion's Den, I can stop all day long and talk about that because you know what? We talk about all of these other things. Let's talk about our own. Let's talk about what's happening homegrown right here in our backyard. And charity begins at home, then spreads abroad. It doesn't spread abroad and then come back home, as the folks said. A struggle because she got her mama's mouth. Oh, that's so funny. You know, I tell people all the time when I listen to parents and they having such a clash with a particular child, I often tell that parent, but you know, you want to come to me and talk about that child. But usually the child that you struggle with the most is the one that is most like you. And you're really struggling with yourself. Yes, those characteristics in that child that are just driving you and taking you over the edge. You're seeing yourself, and that's why it's driving you so hard. Y'all ain't ready for me, but y'all know how I do it in the Lion's Den. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black, cause I tells it like a T-I-Z-Tiz. Now let's get this music going, y'all. It's the truth. It's the truth, Tall Pumps. Y'all, the parents that have that child and y'all just keep clashing, it's because y'all so much alike. Well, I said it. Lord Jesus, I see you, MCP812. I said it. And as my Uncle Jim said, I'll add to it before I take it back. Yes, I will. I'll add to it before I take it back. Because I'm telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Now let's get this party crack-a-lacking. Let's get this party going. Thank the Lord for no kids. Rebel. You got some that are just like you though, girl. You got some that are just like you. I love y'all. I really, really do. I want to go here for just a moment. You know, we had a long, drawn out conversation for several weeks, and I think there were some in here that had very strong emotions and feelings about the getting the shot, the vaccines. And so we had lengthy conversation, and we had different schools of thought where that's concerned. Well, you know where we're going. While we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, this segment right here, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, you know, I'm gonna start with this on today because my mind really does go to many of the conversations that we had relative to the vaccine. So this is where we're gonna go, y'all. So hold your weave, hold your wig, because here we go. Now, I'm looking and I'm booking, and this is what came out this morning. While we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, the FDA has put new strict limits on the J&J, the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. Listen, yeah, Tall Pumps, you had folks that was ready to cut your head off over the jab. And come on and sip your coffee. Come on and sip your coffee, sis. I ain't mad at you. Get your coffee cup out and just go ahead and sip it. At the end of the day, Johnson & Johnson, the FDA has now come out and said that there is going to be a restriction and limitation put on the use of the J&J because of blood clots. It's reported to me that 15% of the cases ended up with blood clots. Now, let me just go ahead and just read a little bit of this to you. Now, this is, I'm gonna get to our conversation on this after I read this. For everybody that's J&J, and I got J&J. I did not get Pfizer. I did not get Moderna. I got what they were giving us in the hood. And in the hood, they were giving us J&J. So there you have it. So here we go. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration announced Thursday it is now limiting the emergency use authorization that was given to Johnson & Johnson / Janssen COVID-19 vaccine to people 18 and older for whom the vaccines are not appropriate. You had the J&J too, and you had a blood clot. That's exactly why they're shutting that down, Michelle. The FDA said in a statement, this change is being made because of the high and rare dangerous clotting condition called thrombosis with thrombocytopenia, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, TTS syndrome, after receiving the vaccine. There were many people that were walking away with TTS, and so they are now going to restrict the usage of the J&J. They said they've been closely monitoring this and the occurrence of TTS following its administration have been used, and the updated information has now caused them to pull back on this particular vaccine. Now, so, you know, there's so many things I want to say, and let me just read a little bit more. The agency confirmed to CNN that the updated authorization applies also to any booster doses. This also applies to any booster doses. I don't know. I'm just listening. So here we go. The FDA says it's determined the benefits of the J&J vaccine do outweigh the risk for certain people. So these are the people that can now get the J&J. These are the people that they're now saying you can get the J&J. Other than that, let's go Pfizer and Moderna. So those who had a severe allergic reaction to the mRNA vaccine dosages from Pfizer and BioNTech or Moderna, that's the first group. Those who had a reaction to basically Pfizer and Moderna, Pfizer, BioNTech, same. And Moderna. Number 2, those with personal concerns about taking a Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, if they wouldn't be getting anything at all, they want them to go ahead and take the Johnson & Johnson. And those with limited access to the mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. So, as of Thursday, more than 18.7 million doses of J&J have been administered in the U.S., according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control. Of those who are considered fully vaccinated, 7.7 got this vaccine. So then I want to get down to some of these stats. In an updated fact sheet, the FDA says that 15% of the TTS, people who got TTS from J&J, 15% have been fatal. 15% of those who got TTS from J&J, 15% of those who received that have been fatal. In other words, you're not only merely dead, you're really quite sincerely dead. So, you know, there you have it. That's the updated information that's coming out this morning with regard to J&J. And, you know, the one thing that I was kind of in a quandary about was because I knew I had received the J&J, I was wondering about crossing it with Moderna and Pfizer for the booster. So there was a minute before anybody was saying anything. It was a minute before we were getting any information. And Michelle Brownell, I'm so sorry that you were one of those that did develop the blood clot, but I'm so glad that you did not have the TTS fatality number that so many did experience with that. You know, it was a question for me, Kim Possible. I was trying to figure out, now that I got the J&J, and when they kept talking about booster initially, they weren't talking about anything as far as a J&J booster. And so I've just really been kind of sitting out and waiting to see and hear, you know, what are y'all gonna say? Because it's like y'all keep talking about you got boosted with Pfizer. Okay, thank you. They kept talking about Pfizer and Moderna, but they were saying little to nothing about J&J. Now, y'all remember the J&J was the one and done, right? It's the one shot and you were done. And so, you know, I was like, okay, now I will say this, the zip code, you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. The zip code was all J&J. I'm gonna say it again. The zip code. Y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. The zip codes. In different area codes, different zip codes. That's where the J&J was being pushed, and that's where I got it. And so, you know, as I read this morning, I felt a little dismal because I was like, I'm really saddened that we were not in the zip code. Understand what I'm saying? Read between the lines. In the zip code, we were in the hood. we were not given the option of the Moderna or the Pfizer at those locations. It was all J&J. So, you know, hey, you know, here once more and again, I'm wondering why the silence during the time that they kept coming out about the boosters. I'm like, but nobody's saying anything about the J&J booster. Nobody's saying anything at all about the J&J booster. We just keep going on like no big deal. And I'm, you know, somebody talk to me. I'm not hearing anything, only to find out that the vaccine and the booster are both not getting their authorization. I'm sure they started seeing this early on when they were giving it. And so finally today, here we come with this report that basically is telling us that because of the high blood clot frequency that was coming out with that, you know, they're not going to be extended with their emergency use authorization, which I think is the EUA, emergency use authorization. So you say you're not trying to be hard, but you could have went anywhere to get vaccinated. Well, at one point there was a question, Teresa, because I mean I was trying to figure out where I could go, because initially I heard him talking about go to your doctor, go to this, go that, So at the end of the day, there were some questions about where you could go, and who and what was being vaccinated, because if y'all remember at the very beginning, they were coming out by ages. They were coming out at the very onset, because I got an early shot. I got before they got to everybody can get it and in full. I was trying to get it, and I was one of those early on. And early on, it wasn't a matter of just going anywhere. As I recall, at least I didn't know where to go, because many of us were like, where can we go get this shot? Especially if you didn't have a regular doctor, which I do not. So at the end of the day, at that time, I did not. So because of insurance situations and transitioning. So yeah, this is a thing that I think sometimes we have to think about. Kim Possible, they need to pull that J&J completely off the market. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they were so slow on the trigger getting the information out here, because I mean, really, y'all, we're barely even talking about vaccines and boosters now, because most of y'all have been vaccinated, boosted 2-3 times, and we're just now slowly, I turn step by step, inch by inch. We're just slowly coming out with this little tidbit of information. All I know is that basically, you just didn't hear anything. It just got quiet. It was, you know, and I was like, you know, they keep talking about, and I even had this conversation with somebody. I said, they keep talking about Pfizer and they keep talking about Moderna, but nobody's giving us any information at all about J&J. It was crickets. It was crickets. So, and my thing was at the point in time that, you know, it's like, hey, don't be slow on the trigger. The minute they started saying in certain areas, hey, we got it over here and you can get it, come on in, no questions asked, just you know, I'm just, I'm like, okay, let me get Johnny on the spot and let me go get vaccinated. That's all I was trying to do, was make sure I got vaccinated. And I'm gonna take the first available. I'm not gonna sit it out and wait it out and this and that and the other. If they're offering it and they're saying you can come and get vaccinated, not now, but right now, I got vaccinated right now. And you know, I didn't know when we got down there to take those shots, we didn't know what we were getting. And as I asked, what is this particular one that we're being given? It's the J&J. So, you know, depending on the scenario, because y'all know it was mayhem there for a minute when COVID first really started going crazy and we didn't know what was what and we didn't know what was going on. You know, we just wanted to get vaccinated. We just wanted to try to protect ourselves. And, you know, first thing smoking, we'll take it. First thing smoking, we'll take it. So the first thing smoking was J&J in that particular area. So hence the mistrust of vaccines in the hood, SK 8843. Because, you know, I feel like this. when I inquired about the potential to be able to take the vaccine of my choice, there was no choice. It's J&J. You're not here to say, okay, I want Pfizer or Moderna. It's J&J. So that's all we got here. Okay, shoot me up. So, at the end of the day, when you start talking about at what point, even in the early clinicals, did they have some suspicion that folks were getting blood clots and having serious problems? And to me, 15% fatality. Now, as I understand, and let me go back and read this again. I think it was 7.7% got J&J. Okay, out of the 18.7 million, out of 18.7 million, 7.7 got J&J. 7.7 got J&J, but 15% died from fatality. Now, to me, for just having a 7.7 of the market percentage rate, to have 15% of your folk die, to me, that's kind of high. Now somebody's saying, well, it's only 15%. Out of a 7.7 market share that were vaccinated with that drug, 15% of those died. 15% fatalities is significant, SK. It's significant. So, I'm like, yeah, these folk were, or even, God forbid, like my sis Michelle Brownell, and Michelle was sick, y'all. And I just felt something right there, because y'all hear me say all the time, that's my miracle signs and wonders. It's way too high, Stacy. That's way too high, Kim Possible. And y'all just kept on pumping these needles in our arms when you know good and well you got, out of just a small spattering of a 7.7% market share, 15% dead. I ain't talking about like my sister that survived. I'm talking about not only merely dead, but really quite sincerely dead. 15%, that is a high percentage of only a 7.7% market share. So, I'm like, again, going back to what SK8843 said earlier, this is why you come into the hood and there's always a reluctance to really go ahead. Jackie 0722, blessings and love to you, my sister. Come on in here. And thank you for hosting the stream, Kim Possible. Thank you for hosting the stream. 15%, Teresa, fatalities. Now, we don't know, because, okay, just look at the Lion's Den, and we've got one person in here in the Lion's Den. Praise God she wasn't in that fatality number, but she definitely was in the blood clot number. So how many, now they're just talking about fatality. Let me look down here, because I don't remember when I looked at this, I did not see a statistic for how many actually had the blood clots. They just gave us the percentage of people that died and the percentage of the market share that they had and that they vaccinated. So, 7.7, no, they don't have how many actually got blood clots. So this is what I'm saying to us. Here we're having this conversation about the 15% that died, but out of J&J in this conversation right here, we got one that came up with the blood clots. Now, so that just makes me shake my head, scratch it, and wonder, what is the actual percentage and number of people that actually got blood clots? Give us that number of your 7.7%, so we can really, really, really see, as Marvin Gaye said, what's going on. Because listen, that is high. That is high. And it's just, why is there not even an option in this zip code for other options of Pfizer and Moderna? It wasn't even offered. It wasn't even offered. That's the type of stuff that I want us to look at. That's the type of stuff I want us to talk about. That's the type of stuff that I feel needs to be corrected. And again, as SK said earlier, this is why there is a reluctancy in the African American neighborhood, in the hood, in the urban core, whatever you want want to say, when they come with needles in hand, people are looking sideways because you just don't know. And I do remember saying to another friend, I said, you know, you almost have a sense of feeling, are we getting, you know, by zip code? I'm talking about zip code. Let the church say zip code. When you start dealing, you start wondering, are we even getting the same medicines that everybody else is getting? You know, it's just they put you in a mindset and a state of mind that makes you wonder about everything, because this stuff that they do is just dastardly. And at the end of the day, it leaves you really saying, could it be? Could it be? The devil. Baby, ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. So, you know, we just won't quit. We just won't stop the madness. And again, over and over and over. And even I'm gonna go back to, and I hear you, Teresa, when you said you weren't trying to be hard, but you can go anywhere. Now, again, understanding, I went into urban core because that's where they immediately were coming out because at first certain people could get it, certain people could not. I could not get my mom vaccinated. So, I mean, you know, hey, it's a whole lot to that story. But anyway, everybody wasn't able to get it, and especially those that didn't have a private physician that they could go to. These are things that we have to understand when you start talking about the discrepancy between the haves and the have-nots. The have-nots may not have a doctor. The have-nots may not have transportation to go wherever they want to go to get it. The have-nots, they're relegated to what they can get. And this is where I say we really have to pay attention, even those that might be middle class, upper class, and understand that many of our lower class, I hate those determinations, but y'all know what I'm saying, because that's the way we break it down in our country. But to those that are less fortunate and marginalized, they don't have options that we have. They can't get in a car and drive and go somewhere because they don't have a car. They can't go to a certain area because bus service doesn't serve certain areas. They don't have the money to buy a Uber and a taxi and this and that and the other. So no, they can't go anywhere and get it because they can't get there. And I think we need to address that for the reality that it is as well. Same issues that we talk about in voting, same issues exist in these types of scenarios where people need to be vaccinated and you're only pumping one particular drug and one particular vaccine into this particular area. No, they can't go anywhere. They don't have that same open access. So I think, you know, we need to look at what we're offering and where and why certain zip codes keep getting certain things. Tall Pump said, and if that is why they finally reported, I'd put your money on being a much higher number, and we're the mostly black folks. And I agree with you. I think if we really got the statistics on that, Tall Pumps, it's going to more than likely be more black people, because just like I said, for me in the hood where the black people, and baby, we were lined up out the doors, we were everywhere. And once they opened that door and said that we could get vaccinated, we did that. And it was black folks. It was black folks. So the doc that took care of you said that other than God, that me having J&J on board helped save your life because it gave you some antibodies. Come through with that. I appreciate that. He said, I got the worst vaccine out of the 3, but it was better than not having anything. And thank you for saying that. And ultimately, Michelle Browno, and I appreciate the fact that if it hadn't been for the J&J antibodies in your body, you would have been dead. And thank you for sharing that. And that's ultimately what this is saying as far as the emergency authorized usage, EAU. I think that's what that stands for. I think that's what, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Michelle, or I know that's your field, Teresa Jones, EAU. I think that stands for emergency use authorization usage, EAU. I think that's what that's for. EUA, emergency usage authorization. I think that's what that stands for. Correct me if I'm wrong. But again, something is better than nothing. And that's why they're saying for the these three groups, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off of this story, but these three groups are being considered now the ones that can continue with J&J for the express reason that Michelle just said about how J&J really did save her life. Even though she got the worst of the three, it still saved her life. And baby girl was sick. She was sick. It was nothing but God that raised her up. So those who have severe allergic reaction to the mRNA vaccine from Pfizer and Moderna, those are now who will take the J&J just so they can have some antibodies in their system. Those with personal concerns about the mRNA vaccine who would otherwise remain unvaccinated if they didn't take the J&J, those are the people that can take J&J. And the third group, those with limited access to mRNA COVID-19 vaccines, which is going to be a whole bunch of people in the hood. Now let's just call a spade a spade. How do I have limited access to those other two if you're not bringing it to where I am? Now, you know, can we just say, if you take that into consideration, let's take number 3, those with limited access to mRNA vaccines. Those with limited access to mRNA vaccines. That being interpreted, everybody in the hood that can't go someplace else and get it, you gonna still be jabbed with J&J. I'm just saying. That's what you're telling me in a roundabout way. Those with limited access to mRNA COVID-19 vaccine, you're going to continue to be jabbed with J&J. Whatever. Hey, did I see Raw Confessions in the room? You were able to get yours with your parents. Come on. I see some more people coming in. Let me come back and let me scroll through. I thought I saw, okay, the doc. I saw that. Tall Pumps was agreeing with, you know what happens when I get to talking. Hey, I am Robin C. Come on in here. You couldn't get J&J because you have DVT. The blood clot issue was known before they approved it in the US. You better talk to me, sis. You better talk to me. And there you have it. The blood clotting issue was known before they approved it in the US. So now they're basically backtracking and acting like, oh, we didn't know. But, and so that 15% for a 7.7% market share, that 15% is even more egregious, knowing that they knew this had a clotting issue. If we do that stat from this stream alone, it could be 1 out of 19 had blood clots. Come on here, Kim Possible. Just from this stream alone, we could really come up with a statistic that 1 out of 19 folk got a blood clot. So at the end of the day, y'all, that is why it's so hard to get especially black men to the doctor. I agree 100%, Michelle Briner. So, you're a military kid. Vaxxers are normal for us at a certain age. Got you. Good morning, truck driver. Come on in here. I see you. Cassandra Isaiah, there's my poet laureate. Come on in here. So much mad love coming to you, Cassie. Classic Cassie. Come on. You were able to get yours with your parents at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta as a caregiver. You all got the Pfizer. That's good. You were a special case. You were vaxxed before your 80-something-year-old mama. Man, my 80-something-year-old mama died without the vaccine. And she didn't die from COVID, but I couldn't get her the vaccine. And I was pretty tripped out about that. I was really tripped out about that. A pharmacist told you that the J&J was not good. Good morning, Royal Confessions. That's my iron. He warned as many friends and family that you could. I hear you talking, and thank you for that. I wish they talked about natural immunity, but I guess that doesn't pay them. Listen, anything that's against big pharma, Tall Pumps, you just might as well know they ain't gonna part their lips. They can have a cure, they can have a natural cure, they can have something's gonna run its course in a matter of time. They will basically let that thing run its course, or not tell you and pump that medicine before it has a chance to run its course to get that money. Stacy 546, I love you. You have a blessed day. Fresh start Friday to you, and have a good one. Denise Taylor is in the Lion's Den this morning. Come on in here. So much love coming to to you, my sister. That's my sis. I love you so much. So I think I got caught up. Machine overload. Do you feel there's a decline in spiritual from our corrupt leadership? I feel like there's a decline in spirituality from every direction. So, but the one thing about, and welcome to your machine overload. Thank you for coming in and thank you for following. This is what I'll say about spirituality. Every individual has the ability to be just as spiritual as you want to be. We cannot in this day and time blame our spirituality on leadership, because spirituality is open access to everybody. Nobody can stop you from being spiritual if you want to be. So there we have. That's how I feel like it. I hear you. It's like an all-out war against the public from actual medical malpractice and silent genocide. I hear you. It causes us to raise our eyebrows, machine overload, because at the end of the day, we just keep doing some of these things over and over again, and disproportionately affecting Black people. Let me just sum it up that way. Disproportionately impacting Black people and minorities, marginalized people of color. A natural immunity is great for people who have healthy and normal immune systems. I hear you talking. So it's not hard for me to go to the doctor, because if my toenail hurts too long, you're gonna be sitting in the doctor's chair. I'm not mad at you, truck driver. Take care of business. That's what I say. Take care of business. So there you have it. I wanted to bring that out just for those of you that did get the J&J. Like my sister said, tell me again, was that the Michelle? I think you said you followed up your J&J with Moderna. I believe it was, but by all means, there are more than one ways to skin a cat. So please, let's go out here and look at other ways to get our vaccines taken care of. And you got the Pfizer. Okay, the Pfizer. And I appreciate that. And I'm still, and this may be a question for Teresa Jones. We're talking about between the mRNA and the other one. Is the mixing of the two vaccines, two different types of vaccines together, do we know what the impact of that is? I don't know. You're talking about two totally different platforms from which the vaccine is produced, and do they marry well together? Are you going to have side effects down the road? I mean, there's a whole lot of experimentation with human people's lives. I'm not too crazy about that. So I don't know. Thank you so much, BTD Mom. I feel good in my mind, in my spirit, because listen, God's taking care of me, and I got a whole nother place I could go with that, but I won't. I'm gonna hold that for the time being. I'm gonna go here for just a second, because this brother right here has passed away at the age of 56, and there's so much talk right now. I mean, folks are mad. Folks are there's a little bit of everything that's going on. King Coogee, I see you. It's better to go with who you got originally. It's like mixing alcohol. It doesn't always sit right in your body. And good morning to you. Well, King Coogee, that's my sire. He is a streamer. If you're not following him, I want y'all to follow King Coogee. He will bless your whole life. I hear that, King Coogee, but when they come out talking about J&J and this high level blood clot risk that it has, I don't think I want no more J&J floating around in my body. So, but inquiring minds want to know. The pharmacist told you not to mix, but didn't give me an explanation. Thank you so much, Teresa. I appreciate that. There is no impact. Okay, we do it all the time with the kids. It's like the generic medications. It's the same base with different fillers. Come on, Michelle. So there you have okay, King Coogee say stay with what you got. And the pharmacist told you not to mix, Teresa Jones, and then Michelle, who's actually out there in the field, said they do it all the time. And so I hear you. It's the same. We do it all the time. Generic medications same base but different fillers. So do your research. That's all I can say. And none of this is meant to tell you what to do and how to do. So let me get myself off the hot seat, because don't y'all be suing Spiritual Thought Leader talking about, you told me I could mix it, now my arm is growing out my neck. Don't come back at me like that. Don't come at me, I lean sideways. Don't come back at me talking about Spiritual Thought Leader. This is my disclaimer right here. I'm not telling y'all to do nothing. I'm just telling you what they're talking about. So I just want y'all to get a good understanding that I speak for nobody, and I'm not telling you to do nothing. Are we clear? All hearts and minds clear? Because you ain't gonna sue me today. Now, at the end of the day, well, look at it like this. All medications react to bodies differently. Doctors know best. I hear you on that. And then there's a whole lot doctors don't know. So you better do all the research you can and get all the understanding you can. Ask all the questions you can and be as proactive as you can. What I will say, don't be nobody's guinea pig. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Don't be anybody's guinea pig without your consent. Now, if you consent to it, knock yourself out. But listen, babies, get your in all that get an understanding. All right. Now, this is what I want to touch on. Kevin Samuels. Many of you may know about him, have heard him. I'm going to really rely on my conversation with the Rebel Inc., who's very familiar with his platform. And at the end of the day, being very familiar with his platform, she has shared that he was very misogynistic, very insulting, very body shaming, and a whole lot of other things. This brother has died of a heart attack or something of that nature as of yesterday. He's one of those right now. Even this morning, people are saying, I don't believe he's dead. I don't believe he's dead. Are y'all telling the truth? And da-da-da-da-da. It's reported to me that he's not only merely dead, he is really quite sincerely dead. So, you know, I didn't see the body. Show me where they laid him. That's what somebody just said in the Bible. Show me where they laid him. I haven't seen where they laid him, but there's enough people confirming that the man is dead that I believe that he's dead. So, Lord have mercy. I believe the man is dead. Now, this is the conversation that's going on, and some of you may be familiar with this platform too, because I am not one that believes in the destructive to try to be productive. And we're going to pick this up and talk about it a little bit more, but I'm going to use this even for a segue. So, dead is dead. Teresa Jones, I say that line. That's the line from The Wizard of Oz when the Munchkins are out there. Ding dong, the witch is dead. The wicked witch is dead. When they do that, and then as coroner, I must confer, I've thoroughly examined her, and she's not only merely dead, she's really quite sincerely dead. Yes, we did The Wizard of Oz at Bonner Springs. So that's where I get that line from. The coroner in The Wizard of Oz. So at the end of the day, you know, go ready. Love you so much. And go ahead and jump on that call. Glad to have you. He's dead. Come on, Robin C. So, you know, people are not believing that the man is dead, but I believe he is. At the end of the day, this is the quandary, and this is the dilemma that seems to present itself. I don't know. Listen, I'm going to tell you, Kim Possible, I read a report today that's saying coronary. Now, again, people are talking and saying all kinds of stuff, but it was reported to me in one of the articles that they are saying that he did have a heart attack. So that's just, you know, scuttlebutt folk talking, because I don't know. But at the end of the day, and they said, okay, now this is, I did read several different articles. I know, is he social media dead or is he coroner dead? still haven't seen either. I went out. One person said they wish they could see his face when he finds out that God is a fat black woman. Raw confessions. This man is known and has made his money. And this is what a lot of people, okay, so you heard cancer. So, okay, we gonna kill him of everything. He gonna be done died from everything before this is over with. So Go Ratty heard he died from cancer. Somebody else said he dropped dead of a heart attack. But we don't know what done happened to this man. At the end of the day, I do believe he's dead. So, he made big money. Not just some little change. Let me pull this down. He made big money talking negatively about black women, weight, body shaming, you name it. I understand the man was just absolutely horrible. You think he got shot? Tall bumps. As you shake your head. 1.42 million followers on YouTube. That's exactly right. This man was huge. Ask TMZ because they know Robin C. Come on here. At the end of the day, this is the thing that I feel about this particular situation. You got women out here who talking about, I owe my life to this man because his body shaming is what made me go and lose weight and da. Now I'm gonna come somewhere. I'm going somewhere with this whole punitive and we've been talking about this all week long, and we're gonna end this week, this Fresh Start Friday, with reframing our mindset and reframing how we walk and how we talk. Now, this is the thing I want to ask about him to the black folks that are just really, we fall far too much for gossip versus real healing and therapy. Come on here, Go Ratty. I appreciate you for that. Because listen, I contend, and just like I said on yesterday, you're not going to get me saved just because you're going to teach me and preach me in a state of being fearful of hell and fearful of God. If that's the only reason why you're going to have a relationship with God, just don't have one. Because any relationship built on fear, to me, is not healthy. And I'm going to say the same thing about folks that said, oh, he talks so bad. DJ D-Man is in the building. Listen, he is a streamer. This is my brother. If y'all not following him, please follow him. This guy, I love him so. I love him so much. As DJ Prodigy would say, he was rude. Come on, Kim Possible. That's what I understand, because I didn't follow his stream. I didn't follow his ministry, if I can call it that. His delivery was rough, but he had good points to some of the folks he was talking to. I hear you, King Coogee. I could say I can understand even the different dynamics. My grandfather's ministry, and I keep trying to draw this parallel so people can understand what I'm saying. My grandfather's delivery of ministry was rough. And then my dad came with grace. And even though he got results, my grandfather got results, he would have gotten, I believe, much better results had he come a different way. And some of the results that he had was people that walked away and said, I'm not ever coming back to this church. So, your delivery can be rough and it may have effects for some, but, at the end of the day, is that really the healthy way to go? Disco Darren is in the room, y'all. He's in the room. Come on in here, my brother. He is a streamer also, and if you're not following him, please do so. He talks about his high value man woman stuff, putting black people in a box. I hear you, Go Ratty, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm coming strictly. Come on, SK. Let me come back up to that. Body shaming is hatred, even if the outcome is a healthier lifestyle. I agree with you all day long there. Come on, MCP 812. So listen, I'm just not that one. And I've seen delivery. I've seen the rough and tough delivery. I've seen the other type of delivery. And I'm so much pro other type of delivery, because you ain't got to slap folks around to get results. I just don't believe in that. And at the end of the day, it's a matter of, come on, Tall Pumps, I see you. You think that's the thing. He gave it to folks rough, so they got caught up in his delivery rather than in his message. I hear you, Tall Pumps. You saw one and you were done. And that would have been me, Robin. Dysfunction dysfunctional. No, thank you. That would have been me, Robin C. I am Robin C. Because you're not going to hoodwink me. He headlined you about eyeshadow. MCP812, you talking about our grandfather. And yes, he headlocked you over some eyeshadow. Grandpa didn't play. But I just believe that kind of delivery, it ain't for me, and it ain't for most of the people. Now, nobody likes to hear the truth sometimes, but it's in the delivery, King Kuji. Folks want you to pet their ego and gain results at the same time. I hear you talking. I hear you talking. I hear you talking. I see you walking. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go back for me. Now, everybody, so we're already, this is the same conversation that's happening out there right now, because there are some that love the delivery and love what he stood for and how he put it out there. I'm on the side of SK that says body shaming is hatred, and I am Robin C. That's dysfunctional. So we're coming from two different sides of the track. Royal Confession said he was, in all caps with I don't know how many exclamation points after it, rude. Now, this is the thing I want to ask the black community, because this is one thing I said to someone I was talking to. If this had been a white supremacist, if this had been a hard and core racist, we would have been saying some of the same things that people are saying about this brother, because at the end of the day, we're talking about Kevin Samuels, Teresa. It's reported to me that he's no more. So I'm looking at he's rude, dysfunctional, body shaming, hatred. And I feel if we put this on the racist side, we would have been understanding. We would have been, yeah. And I'm not saying I'm happy the man is dead. I'm not talking about hateful statements. I'm talking about rejecting delivery, methodology, all of that. And there's something in me. He was not a licensed therapist. You can have an opinion, but when did we take opinions as fact? Come on, Go Ratty. I hear you, and I love that. And I think we do it far too much, preachers included. We take people at face value just because they said a thing. They're unlearned, uneducated, have not really seriously investigated a thing, and come out with opinions that are unfounded, and then start talking it as the gospel truth, and the people just eat it up as if it's the true fact sent from God. And some will tell you, I heard this from God. Quit, listen.
Why you always lying?
You didn't hear that from God. Quit lying. So, opinion as fact is the way of the world. I hear you, but listen, we got to really stop and pay attention. You honestly only saw clips of him, so you didn't pay him much mind. And I'm talking sight unseen, because I haven't heard any of his stuff directly. Since he has been reported dead, I did go back and try to see a little bit of what I could see to understand why there's such a heated debate within the camp. Now, this is what I want to say to black people. Whether it's church, whether it's somebody like this commentating, why do we feel like it's okay to be berated, to be belittled, to be talked about, to be embarrassed, to be humiliated? Why do we feel like that's okay? That's the part where y'all lose me. It's not okay. It's not okay. It is not okay. So, and I'm talking about becoming mentally healthy. I'm talking about becoming mentally healthy. Yes, we've withstood a lot. Yes, we have been put on a tree, tied there, tarred and feathered, whooped until the flesh comes off our back. That still doesn't mean it's the right way. Well, it got results. It got slavery mentality. And this is the part where I get really agitated with the black community, because we will let the black community, and sometimes other communities as well, but definitely let the black community talk sideways at us, and we act like, oh, well, that's okay. I understand. No, it's not okay. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. It's not okay. 14 years of therapy and good people like you. Oh, thank you. Yet these cats make millions. And that's the thing that people are so mad about, because this man literally made himself a millionaire talking negatively about women, particularly body shaming entertainment and everything else. Come on, why do we eat up the negativity, BTD mom? Negativity sells. I hear you go, just like the devil sells. Y'all ain't ready for me. TMZ has not mentioned his death yet. I hear you. So at the end of the day, I'm like, it's not okay. Why do we shame people? Teresa, explain it to me. Because he was a non-factor in the larger scheme. Devil's advocate here. Some folks don't learn any other way. I personally don't agree with it. And I hear you, King Kuji. And I do feel like people can learn another way. I do feel like there's another way. I think that we will choose to stop trying to go a certain route when we feel frustrated and tired of doing a thing, and we just quit. But I do feel like people will respond another way. Black women and men need real talk and help to better understand each other, not rhetoric. Come on here, Go Ratty. Listen, this baby right here, he got all my votes. I will not co-sign for hate, and I'm with you, SK, from anyone towards anyone. That's all I'm trying to understand. Folks made him a millionaire and he went with it. But I am Robin C. No, ma'am. And yes, money, you know what we do for money in this country and in this culture. We act like at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters. That's the only thing that matters. Everybody chasing paper, and we'll chase paper at the expense of people's sanity, at the expense of people's emotional well-being, you know. And I'm like, no ma'am, no sir. Ain't that much money in the world that will have me in here spewing hatred toward my own people for the purpose of you know. And at the end of the day, I'm like, no. Disco Darren, you've listened to a lot of his comments. I'm not in compliance with some of his thoughts. I hear you. Thank you so much for that, Disco Darren. I hear you. Ignorance gets paid more than truth and talent. I hear that too, King Kuji, but we need to turn that around. We need to turn that around. And now he's a dead millionaire, Royal Confessions. Because now I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, Crazy Berrytown, there she is. That's my beautiful friend. And I done already told him you're traveling. We done prayed traveling mercies for you. She is a streamer, y'all. She will Zumba you design. If you're not following her, please follow Crazy Berrytown and get your body right. She will get you together. And happy vacationing to you. So thank you for coming in, because I just knew you weren't coming this morning. But thank you for, I love you, girl. I just love you. Come on, Robin. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth, y'all. And this is a thing that I feel, Curious Job. She is a streamer. She's bringing truth, y'all. If you're not following her, please follow Curious Job. I see you. You've lost 3 jobs due to racism and mental illness. Come on and speak your truth. And commentary like this, like his, at times belittled men like you. And it's unhealthy. And this is what I'm trying to get us to understand. Stop the madness. Don't go along with it. Don't perpetuate it. Don't pet it. Don't pat it. Stop the madness, because people are being traumatized and devastated. It's words have power. Can we just stop right there and speak the truth? Words have power. And the way we formulate those words and the manner in which we present those words have even more impact. So pay attention. That's all I want us to do. I want us to pay attention. And I'm going to say it again, and y'all can say whatever you want to say. I'm really on this one for the black community. I wish we would stop being abusive. I just wish we would stop being abusive. So at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't care what your intent, your motive, and like I told you, I love everybody. But if I just take it from this trajectory right here, my grandfather, who preached with no grace and no mercy, and my father, who preached mercy and grace. And when I say that, I'm not talking about the process of salvation. I'm talking about the delivery. I'm talking about the delivery of it. I'm going to take my father with grace and mercy any day over my grandfather's tongue lashing in the spirit. I just am. And for everybody that feel, oh, no, you can have it. You can keep it. But y'all in slavery. That's all I can say about that. In my opinion, you still back in Egypt land. Anytime you still happy for the lash, anytime you still happy for the tongue, come on here. I saw it slide through. The tongue is a double-edged sword. I am Robin C. And you better say that. It has power. DJ T-Rail is a streamer. Come on in here. So much love coming to you. If you're not following him, please follow this man. He will bless your whole life. I love you, man. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for lurking and working. Sugar and salt, they look alike, but their seasoning is totally different. They look alike, but their seasoning. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for those roaring biddies. Go Ratty. I appreciate you. So, at the end of the day, I'm going to say this because this has been what we've been talking about. And I said I was going to use this as a good segue because and listen, I'm going to say this even in the black church. And I keep talking about this because yesterday I did join a group and became part of an organization that is helping our LGBTQ heal from religious abuse. Yes, I said it. I joined the group on yesterday, and I'm glad and proud to be a part of the movement for those of LGBTQ plus community to help them heal from religious abuse, the tongue lashing that y'all seem to think is okay, and it's not okay. I don't care whose name and how you do it. Tearing people down and talking about them like a dog is not okay, and it's not love. So at the end of the day, why we as black people are so welcoming and so allowing, so that we have an allowance for go ahead and talk about me like a dog, and oh, didn't he really preach, oh, didn't she really teach, when all they did was stand there behind the lectern and tongue lash you for 2 hours. I just will never understand that. Yes, I do understand slavery and slavery mentality that still feels like every now and again you need a good whooping just for nothing. And listen, I'm gonna tell you what my grandmother, this is what been my great grandmother, my grandfather, who at the time was probably in his 70s, because my great grandmother, that's what she's great. She was right at 100. She died, I want to say it was like 2 weeks before her 100th birthday. And so my grandfather was standing there. Now this man's in his 70s. My grandfather was standing there, and by the end of her life, she had gone completely blind. She had lost her sight. And they were just talking about the quote unquote good old days and how rough and tough it was. And he said, man, you ain't never had no beating till you got a beating from mama. And a beating from mama was just that. You got a beating. And he said, mama, I think sometimes you beat us for nothing. And she, with her blind self and nearly 100-year-old, said, yes, and if I could see you now, I'd beat you. Did you understand the way this woman almost 100 years old, and let's see, my grandfather, I want to say it was like 18 or 19 of them in their family, a huge clan. And she's standing here talking to her 70-something-year-old son, talking about, and yes, if I could see you now, I'd beat you. I just want to beat somebody. Something wrong. And at the end of the day, anybody beating their kids to the point that at 70-something years, they're still traumatized, and at 100 years old, you still, if you could see, would still... No, ma'am, no, sir. And this is what I want us to understand about the black culture that has really bought into this as if it's okay. It's not okay. I'm gonna just call a spade a spade. Y'all can keep right on with your slavery mentality. But this is what we've been talking about for the last week. This week we've been talking about Egypt land versus desert babies, and many of us are desert babies, versus these young folks, these millennials, and these young folks that are ready to go over into the promised land, and they say, we ain't buying nothing what y'all selling. We gonna do this thing totally different. because that's not the way we're gonna roll. We see you, we don't want to be like you. We see you, we don't want to have what you have. We see you, we got a whole different mindset, and our feet are on a whole different trajectory. So don't be mad because they don't want what they've seen from us. And you got to stop and at some point say, how close am I to Egypt? How close am I to slavery? And how close am I to being out there at least freed enough to be in the desert? And at what point do we get over to the promised land? Come on, Kim Possible. It's post-traumatic slave disorder, and it's still impacting us today. It's a slave mentality, Tall Pumps, and we don't want to acknowledge it for what it is, because some of y'all don't want to let that mess go. But listen, some of y'all jacked up from some of the stuff y'all went through when you were kids, and you just don't want to admit it jacked you up. Healing is necessary, valuable, and it must increase. Perpetuating traumatic slave disorder. That's a lot of what it is. I am Robin C. And as long as we feel like it's okay, as long as we feel like it's right and righteous, as long as we feel like this is the way it's going to be done, Houston, there is a problem. And if you're going to deal with the problem, the first thing you got to do is admit that you do have a problem. And unfortunately, the Black community in some of these areas, we do not want to admit we have a problem. And we've taken on this slavery mentality and this slavery behavior, and we've enacted it upon and enforced it on our children and our children's children. And then we wonder why we're still jacked up. We got to change the paradigm. Sometimes, DJ T-Rail, you really wonder if it's really a form of, it is self-hate to me, DJ T-Rail. As I stop and I step back and look at it, I'm gonna say this, even what I said before you came in. Earlier on, we were applauding Michelle Brownell because her daughter, I'm gonna put this up again, her daughter Jalen was recognized. Let me get this right, because I'm gonna put this up again. Her daughter was recognized. Now, while I was recognizing and applauding her, we started talking about the struggle of parenting. And in that struggle, we began to talk and address the realities that it can be a challenge and a struggle. But this is what I said. And this is so often true, that a lot of times when parents are having the conflict with that, however many children, but seem like it's always at least one that really challenges you, it's usually because that child, you see so much of yourself in your child, you're too much alike. And you start trying to beat that out of your child because you're really beating yourself. Now, y'all chew on that. Y'all chew on that. And that's, listen, no cream, no sugar. You step this into the lion's den. Y'all know how we take our coffee over here. No cream, no sugar. I tells it like it is. I tells it like a T-I-Z-tis. Many times, if many parents would be honest with themselves, the things that they're beating and disciplining those children for are the things of themselves that they see in that child, and they trying to beat it out of them. So when you start talking about a form of self-hate, come on here. I'm just calling a spade a spade. You start seeing yourself in that child, and then all of a sudden you start having all this conflict. Michelle Brownell, you knew early in raising your daughter because little Michelle, little Michelle, that's what she was. Little Michelle was not taking it. She told me she would take that spanking and still wasn't going to do that particular thing. So she untrained you. Come on, little Michelle. That's what I'm talking about. Give me my spanking. You still not gonna make me do what I don't. So, at the end of the day, that's your Jalen, y'all. And at the end of the day, just because it happened does not mean it's okay. And money, clothes, and status will not fix generational trauma. You better preach in here, Kim Possible 7-Eleven. You better preach. And you knew she was me. You knew she was you. Good morning, Shelly Thunder. Come on in here, sis. So good to see you in the Lion's Den. And so, you know, I encourage parents, y'all that just have that child that y'all have this constant conflict, y'all can't see eye to eye, and you just keep clashing and bumping heads. Stop for a minute and identify what of you in that child has you so vexed, huh? What of you, y'all ain't ready for me, what of you in that child has you so vexed? Because I can almost promise you that's what's driving you over the edge. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, Cassandra Isaiah. And at the end of the day, you got to look at the man in the mirror and change his ways and deal with what's going on inside of you and stop beating your child. Because you ain't gonna beat yourself out of them. You put yourself in them, and you ain't gonna beat yourself out of them. That's your child. Now, y'all just figure it out. Now, at the end of the day, that brings me, and that's a good place to segue. That brings me to where I want to go, because I'm gonna try to wrap this up. Where am I on my time? Because I want to get out of here. We're going to the Rebel Inc. Church of Funk this morning, and we're gonna have some good times over there. So I'm not going to go back through and rehash what we went through on yesterday. Watch the on demand, because we got some good stuff that we put out here on yesterday about punitive discipline versus restorative discipline. And again, the thing that made me, I'm gonna put it up just for a second so you can see it. This is the thing about it that made me so happy. I got it from the young people. And the young people, they're not buying what y'all selling. Y'all believe in punitive discipline. They do not. They believe in restorative discipline. So we went through that on yesterday. Fear teaches command respect through warnings and threats. Respect teaches gain respect. It's out there in my Discord. Go out there and look at it. But at the end of the day, the kids they're not having it. They're not buying what you're selling. And this is what they're pushing to each other. And listen, I love it. I love everything about it. I applaud it. I applaud that they're not taking the cues from us of punitive punishment and discipline, because at the end of the day, y'all, it doesn't work. So this is where I'm gonna come and I'm gonna start putting some of this up here, and I'm gonna try to get to it and through it in these last 20 something minutes as we have this chit chat together. So listen, I'm gonna start right here. Most of us have been deeply shaped by the false notion that in order for people to behave better, they need to feel worse and be punished. In practice, now this is what I want y'all to pay attention to. In practice, we see that humans are in fact far more likely to change in desirable ways when they are more resourced, not less resourced. Give them more resources, not less. That's a whole word right there. We see that people are more likely to change, far more likely to change, when they are given more resources, not less. So this is a place where we really need to start talking and identifying what kind of resources are we giving? What kind of resources do we have? What kind of resources are we making available so that we can move to another level? I love Go Ratty in here, keeps sharing and relating and referring to the therapy that is blessing his life right now. Therapy is a resource. Some of this stuff needs to be unlearned. We surely don't need to keep staying out here teaching it. Some of this stuff needs to be unlearned. Please hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. Some of it you're going to need to go to therapy and get counseling so you can start to unlearn some of this mess that we have been taught. Come on, SK. This is a new day and you're changing in order to thrive. We're not just trying to, I don't just want you to live. I want you to thrive. That's where we are in this hour. So I'm trying to put this one up and it will not. So I'm just going to go ahead. Let me see if I can get it this way. I'm going to try one more direction. Okay. Yeah, I was able to get it this way. I can't blow it up. I cannot blow it up, but that's okay. I'm going to show it. Let me refresh that. I'm going to show it so you can see it. Now, so this is why it's important when we talk about this from the standpoint of how you're disciplining your children, because it also needs to spill over to how we discipline our citizens in society. Because listen, that punitive prison system is not the answer. And as long as you're following that model in your household, then they're going to continue to follow that model in society. So this is where we've come to the day and time where people are opting for healing justice and transformative justice, because the other way is not working. So I want you to understand, when I'm talking about this from the standpoint of you making this shift in your home, it's because I'm also talking about making this shift in our society. So healing justice and transformative justice are two sides of the same coin. They show us what's possible when we don't charge our care and our wellness to the state, and when we build our own capacity to respond and transform harm. Now, that's a lot said right there. There's the articles out there. Go out there in my Discord and look at it. But I just wanted to listen. I'm not going to do a whole lot of talking on that, but I want you to see where we're coming from, because I'm telling you, if we don't change this mindset within our homes, if we don't change this mindset with how we deal amongst ourselves, then society is going to continue this dastardly behavior that they keep imposing upon us, because the mindset is twisted. The mindset is warped. So this is where I want to come, and I want to just, if we can, I just want to briefly look at this as we get ready to get up out of here on this Fresh Start Friday. That doesn't want to come that way either. So I'm gonna try. Listen, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I'm gonna come another direction. So this is where I want us to look at and identify what we're talking about as we want something different. And I'm gonna say this quickly, and I'm gonna really just probably do a little reading on this last portion and let you all out of here, because we getting ready to go to church. We getting ready to go to the Rebel's house. Transformative justice, here we got a brief description of it. So this is what, I hope you can see this on the screen, but this is how we're gonna close it out. Transformative justice is a political framework and approach for responding to violence, for responding to harm and abuse. And so I'm going to ask you to think about, are your words in your home violent? Are your actions in your home abusive? I'm not asking you to look in somebody else's house. I'm asking you to look in your own house, and how are we building and how are we structuring this generation? Because if we don't want the society that we live in the state to abuse and harm and talk crazy to our children, then I'm asking you to stop doing it in your house. You understand the words that are coming? Now, how you do that in your house, I'm not trying to tell you that. I'm just saying, get some resources. What did we say earlier? The best change is when you get more resources, not less. So get some resources. If you don't have resources, start seeking it out. But I'm telling you, don't tell the popo and don't tell the state to not abuse your child if you're abusing your child. Don't ask them to not talk crazy to your child if you're talking crazy to your child. So come on now. It starts at home, then spreads abroad. It doesn't spread abroad, then come back home. Do you rely on the state, including the police, prisons, and the criminal legal system, ICE, foster care? Though some TJ responses do rely on incorporate social services like counseling, therapy. Can we get some resources? Counseling, therapy. Let's get to the root. Let's get to the core of the matter, because it's just like cutting your grass. If all you're going to cut off is the blade that you see on top, Mish 8, come on in here, my sister. She is a streamer. She is a cook. Y'all, please follow her. She'll bless your whole life. Are you just cutting off the grass, the blades on the top, or are you actually getting the weed from the root? Are you getting the weed from the root, or are you just cutting off the top? So when I say that, therapy and counseling is what I'm encouraging you to look toward, to be able to get to the root. And some of y'all are so resistive to counseling. Some of you are so resistant to therapy. Get down to the root of the matter. Stop cutting this off at the top, because it's just gonna, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be right back. It's gonna be right back, and it's gonna be, as a matter of fact, it might be worse and thicker the next time it comes back. Baby, get to the root of the matter. Start dealing with your stuff through counseling and therapy. Do not reinforce or perpetuate violence such as oppressive norms and vigilism. It's a vigilantism. Let me get that right. actively cultivate the things we know prevent violence, such as healing. Come on, let's get with that. Let's get the things that what are we now cultivating? What are we now pushing? We're pushing healing. We're pushing accountability. And that's part of the issue even now. So many times we see things that are warped. This is what I'm saying about the brother. You know, everybody that wants to be cool with this brother that was out here bashing people. Where's the accountability? Yes, you made millions off of bashing women. You made millions off of body shaming. But where's the accountability? Well, that's what we do. That's what no. We're talking about healing. Where is the healing in it? Even as, and I thank you again, my brother, for sharing that many times the stuff that he was saying was devastating to you and your life situation and your journey. Let's not continue to make these folks millionaires from negative behavior. And let's not continue to act as if talking negatively and tearing people down has a benefit. In my opinion, no ma'am, no sir, because there's still something internally. Even if you talk and body shame me, for the woman that was talking about, he body shamed me and that's how you lost your weight. This is one thing I will say, and y'all can agree or not. I know somebody who lost the weight too, but at the end of the day, the mind still saw herself as a fat woman. And even though she had dropped the weight, even though she had gotten down to the ideal size that she thought she would be happy if she got down to that, her mind was still fat. Now, I hope y'all heard what I said, because she had not really dealt with the essence of what was really at the core. What am I really dealing with? And at the end of the day, just because I lose the pounds does not mean I'm going to love myself. And especially if I lost the pounds just to stop people from talking and making fun of me. No, ma'am, no, sir. There's no healing in that. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? I don't care if you lose all the weight that you want to lose. What is the healing and what is the process to get your mind, your emotions, your heart healed? Because you can drop the weight and your mind is still tore up. You can drop the weight and your heart is still devastated. You can do all of that and still not be healed. And why we think that just because she dropped the weight, oh, well, that was effective. No, it was not if they're still devastated in their mind, heart, and we got to really get to the core of this and say, what are we doing? Michelle, you know someone that's way. She still sees herself overweight. Come on here, Michelle. And there are many people who you look at what you identify on the external, but when you really talk to those people, they're still devastated inside. You could look at me and baby, my hair was gonna be together. I went to the beauty shop every week. Every hair was in place. Listen, people said, do you even own a pair of jeans? Because when I came out the door, I was gonna come out and everything was gonna match. That suit was gonna be sharp. It was gonna be fried, dyed, laid to the side, everything in place. But I couldn't look at the mirror and be comfortable with looking in the mirror at myself. Then it didn't matter how good I looked. It didn't look how well my hair was put together. It didn't matter. And I said it was wind tunnel safe because baby, she knew to spray that thing so that when I came out, baby, it was not gonna move till I sat down in that chair the next week. And at the end of the day, oh, she's a manager at the city. Oh my goodness, she's got this, she's got that. But I can't look in the mirror. And you all keep looking at materialism. You keep looking at items and objects, things that you have, your position on a job. Baby, that doesn't make you feel good about yourself. That doesn't make you feel good about who you are. And that does not mean that you are healed. Y'all quit twisting this stuff up. It's not one and the same. Now we're going for healing. Come on, Mish. We've been programmed to promote negative energy in our culture. And it's so destructive. But yet and still we want to embrace it like, oh, that's okay. This is good stuff. No, it's not. So now we're looking at healing. We're looking at accountability. Am I talking to anybody? We're looking for resilience. Yes, I bounce back. And I can bounce back better if I feel good about myself. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? When I feel good about myself, I can bounce back more readily. When I fall down, I can get back up and keep on going without beating myself down as a failure. We've got to come to a point where we have got to change and move the paradigm shift over to these areas and stop playing games with ourselves. And the young folks, they ain't having it. Y'all can do it and keep doing it if you want to, but these young folk, they ain't having it. They said, we've watched you as parents. We've watched you as grandparents. We do not want to be like you. And I say to that, kudos. I'm glad that they don't want to be like us, because at the end of the day, many of us are still tore up from the floor up. So this is how I feel about the young people saying we want something different. Come on, Shelly. Guilty. Even at your smallest, you still thought I was overweight. The doctors that keep stressing weight loss and the weight they think you should be, it makes you worse. And this is where I'm trying to get us to understand. No, any way, shape, or form, all of this negativity, all of this punitive, all of this punishment that comes in a very hurtful and stressful package, that is not the way to go. And I'm going to say it loud to the Black community. Stop this madness. It's the accountability and the resilience that we don't understand, Mish. We don't understand that. And we've got to be accountable. Come on here. So now let me get this. Resilience and safety for all. I'm not going to do this if it's going to hurt you. I'm not going to do this if it's going to hurt me. I'm not going to do this if and some of y'all need to just back up and say, is there harm in this? And if you see people talking negatively and tearing people down and you don't see harm, I just need you to go back and reassess, where are you coming from in your perception? If you don't, listen, y'all stop this. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's a lie straight from the pit of hell. Words hurt you. And I don't care how you try to pretend and act and play like it does not. Those words, especially to children, are very, very devastating. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to the world. State responses to violence reproduce violence. Violence reproduces violence. Hear me when I say it once more and again. Violence reproduces violence. And I want y'all to hear that. We all don't have trauma, but the ones who have accountability, share yourself. Come on here, Mish. I love you. Also, while many people choose not to call the police, many communities call the police because of reasons such as fear of come on. I'm not going to read through all of that. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump over to this next one because I want to just get the top areas here, because we're talking about transformative justice. And while we're talking about we need this in the community, I need the Black folks to understand we need it in your home. I need you to have a transformative justice mindset in your household, in your family. I need you to assess, and I'm gonna go back to that last one. I'm gonna hear you really have some resistance to this, I'm sure, but violence creates and perpetuates violence. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I just wanted to highlight that because so many and listen, violence is not just you putting your hands on my body. Violence is also words. Violence is also attitudes. Violence is also gossip. Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. There's so many different ways that we deal violently with one another, but then we don't want to be accountable that I just harmed somebody, that I just hurt somebody. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. You hurt them and you need to go back and address it and make it right. So at the end of the day, I'm scrolling through real fast. It's not enough. I'm gonna go past that. TI is not just the absence of violence, but the presence of values. Now, this is where I wanted to get to. This is what I wanted to get to. I see you, Michelle. You had to, working in the medical field, learn that the scale that they have is not made for our body frames. Whereas 120 looks good on Karen, 120 on Michelle doesn't look good. Many of the docs that you work with have went to how healthy is this person instead of how much they weigh. And I'm gonna give kudos to those doctors. Transfer over from how much do you weigh to how healthy is this person, and don't get it twisted. Bearded Baritone is in the room. He's a streamer. I see you, sir. Please follow him. Now, this is what I wanted to get to. This is why, and this is out here in Discord. You can go out here in my Discord channel and you'll find it there, because I got to get out of here. It's time to go to Rebel and get some Church of Funk up in our house, in our spirits. But this is what I want to get to. It's not simply the absence of the violence, but it's the presence. Hear me when I say it. It's not the absence of. That's, you know, listen, I tell people, do you understand there's a dry drunk? There are dry drunks. They have not touched a drop of liquor, but they are still drunk. They are still inebriated. They are still imbalanced. They are still off balance. They are still not sober in their thinking. Have not touched a drop for who knows how long, but they're dry drunks. So what are you saying, spiritual thought leader? The absence of something does not put you in a state of healing, huh? I'm gonna say it once more and again for the people in the back. I ain't had a drink since thus and so, but you're still a dry drunk. So at the end of the day, and I say that with no demeaning idea or intent towards those who have a alcoholism issue, but I am saying, understand there is a such thing as a dry drunk. So the absence of it is not enough. What we need is the presence of. It's not about what's absent, it's about what's present. We need values. Values that say you cannot come with negativity in this community and think it's okay. That's a values issue. When you begin to think it's okay to talk derogatorily about somebody and you think it's okay, that's a values issue. I need you to do introspection. It's not for me, it's for you to do introspection. What about your values feels like it's okay for people to talk in a derogatory way about a group of people and it's okay? What in your value system says that's okay? DJ Dark Knight, good morning. It's so good to see you. It's so good to see you. Healing is a proactive work. Healing is a proactive work. Listen, Disco Darren, I'm gonna tell you what, my concentration was in addiction and addiction counseling, and I went to AANA, I went to all of the A's, and at the end of the day, I have to say I was addicted. So I wasn't addicted to alcohol, but listen, there are so many things. If we would stop and realize, I was addicted to religion. So somebody ain't ready for that, but I was addicted to religion, and that can be just as addictive and just as intoxicating, and you can get just as drunk on that as you can anything else. And it really begins to identify, what do I need for my homeostasis to find that place of equilibrium and balance. And I was drunk. So at the end of the day, I did not use substance, but I used religion and other things, and it's nobody's business what my other things were, unless we talking one-on-one. But I'm not just gonna put that out here for public consumption, so y'all can get off here and say, oh, did you know? Because listen, when I know that you serious about knowing me and loving me, I'll be transparent. But other than that, I'm gonna give you what I want you to have. So at the end of the day, yes, I went to NAAA, and I had no problem say I am an addict because I was, and I had no problem with that. It was not just a class assignment. It was a very healthy journey for me. In other words, healing is proactive work. It's proactive work. It's not just the absence of something. It's proactive work. Truth is marching on strongly up in here. I hope y'all hearing me this morning. I hope you all can hear what I'm saying. Come on, Dr. Dady Priest. Come on. So much love coming to you. Engagement matters. This is my high priestess. And if you're not following Dr. Dady Priest, I want y'all to follow her. She will bless your whole life because engagement matters. So listen, these are the things. It's not just the absence of violence, but it's the presence of values. It's the practices. What are you practicing? That is so critical. And don't put your mouth on nobody else if you're not going to practice what you preach. What are you practicing? I need you to do that introspection and relationship. Relationships are critical. And these are the things that we've got to begin to deal with. Now, I think I've covered what I'm going to touch on today. There's so much more. Y'all can look and see. There's so much more out here. Ask yourselves all of those questions. I'm going to get out of here on time because it's time to go to Rebel. But all of this is in. We may come back and deal with this a little bit more on next week. But I think we have this week really talked about change and coming to a point again where we're no longer out here advocating and persistent in punitive discipline. I want y'all to come to a restorative place in your world, a restorative place in your life, a restorative place in your mind, because that's what we need operating if we want to see a change. Now, I'm going to say this as we get out of here. Please copy that raid message because we're going over to the Rebels house. Church of Funk is ready for us this morning. Now, this is what I want you to understand. Today, we will not be having Good Grief at 12 o'clock noon. And then tomorrow, there will be no Institute. Sunday at 2 o'clock, there will be no Waking the Lions. And then Sunday night, there will be no Yes You with Friends because we're honoring Mother's Day. This is Mother's Day weekend and everybody's getting a break up in this piece, especially the mothers. So here we go. Just know that I won't be back until Monday, 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We'll be back with the Millennials in Reboot. Now, I appreciate everybody that has come in here and participated with me on this morning. I appreciate all of the love that's in the Lions Den that y'all bring on a daily. This is a Fresh Start Friday. Make it a good one, as Shelly Thunder always says as we get ready to go up out of here. I want you to have an amazing day on purpose. Dr. Dady, before I get out of here, let me get your final words. Self-reflection is hard. That's why folks deflect and project rather than going through the healing process. Listen, Dr. Dady, that word right there, and I'm going to read it once more again for the people in the back. Self-reflection is hard. That's why folks deflect and project rather than going through the healing process. And you said the word to close us out on today. I love you. I love you. I love you. Now you can follow me out here. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Patreon, Twitter, Twitch, Anchor, Discord, and more. I'm out there, saints. We don't have a spirit of fear. We don't have intimidation. We have power. We have love, and we have a sound mind, even if we get soundness of mind by going to therapy. I am all powerful in love because I'm moving boss energy. We're not just talking about change, but we're here to be the change. And you're not alone, because this pride, P-R-I-D-E, this Pride Alliance is relentless, and you're going to hear us roar. It's us, you, me, we all, because we all in this thing together. You better ask somebody. Now, as we get up out of here, getting ready to go to the House of Funk, the Church of Funk. We're getting ready to go over there to the Rebels house. Listen, I want you to get ready, because she's going to bless your whole soul. I want to say happy Mother's Day to everybody out here. Happy Mother's Day to you. My best and greatest wishes that you will enjoy this week and just enjoy yourselves and get yourself a little relaxation in there. The dinner activity and the line support was great today. Go ready. I want to thank you for coming in and thank you for those Lions biddies. The Rebel Ink, Shelly Thunder, Michelle Browno. Those are the moderators over here. I love y'all. Thank you for following Rashawn Dave and Machine Overload. I see you and I appreciate you for following today. And thank you for the resubscription, Kim Possible 711. I love you. I love you. I love you. Happy Mother's Day to everybody that's in here. And at the end of the day, you know how we get out of here. Peace for your journey.
Oh, I feel for my brother.